Welcome to Wealth Hustle 247 podcast, your trusted guide to financial literacy, business innovation, and entrepreneurial success. Learn how to grow your wealth, make informed decisions, and turn your ideas into profitable ventures.
Stop letting debt control your life. Welcome to Step-by-Step Guide to Getting Out of Debt. We're giving you the proven strategies, actionable tips, and mindset hacks to escape debt fast and take charge of your money, starting today.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that, well, it impacts millions of people, no matter what their job is or how much they make. We're talking about debt.
Right, and it's this thing that so often starts quietly. Maybe it's a medical bill you weren't expecting, or you're trying to get a small business off the ground.
And before you know it, it's not just a line on a statement anymore. It's this huge weight that starts to dictate your life choices, your stress levels, just about everything.
It really can be. But the source material we analyzed for this, it offers a really powerful counter-narrative. It confirms that debt isn't a life sentence. It is fundamentally solvable.
Solvable, I like that. But it's not through some magic trick, right?
No, not at all. It's about having a highly structured, almost military-grade plan. It's about process and discipline.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to take all that source material and distill it down into a clear, comprehensive 11-point roadmap. We want to move past the vague advice and give you the actual mechanics that these guys recommend. The goal here is to help you transform that overwhelming feeling into a concrete, step-by-step plan. Okay, let's unpack this.
I think the biggest synthesis, really, the main takeaway from all of this, is that getting free isn't just about finding more money. It's about a profound mental shift first. You just can't solve a problem that you refuse to fully define. So that first essential step is always clarity.
And that leads us right into section 1, facing the truth and stopping the bleeding. These are the prep steps, the foundation. And step 1 is exactly what you just said, clarity. The guides insist you have to face the full truth.
Yeah, and this is where a lot of people trip up right at the start. They kind of have a vague idea of the total number, but true clarity is so much more granular.
What does that look like specifically?
It means creating a master ledger. You need to list out every single creditor, every balance, the minimum payment, the exact due date, and this is the most important part, the precise APR for everything.
Everything from the mortgage down to that store credit card you forgot you had?
Exactly. Every single penny.
And the sources had a great line about the psychological effect of doing this. It said, clarity transforms debt from a source of fear into a solvable problem.
It's so true. When you drag that monster out from under the bed and put it onto a spreadsheet,
It's just a list of tasks.
it loses its power. It's just data. It's a problem with a defined size.
Okay, so once you have that clarity, you know the full landscape. Step 2 is pretty unforgiving. Stopping new borrowing.
It has to be cold turkey.
No exceptions.
None. The guides are really clear on this. If you keep using credit cards or taking out little loans, you are actively undermining every other bit of progress you're making. You're guaranteeing failure.
That's a huge lifestyle change for a lot of people, though. What if that's just not possible?
Well, the sources don't sugarcoat it. They say it requires difficult but necessary lifestyle adjustments. This is the moment you have to commit, truly commit, to living within your actual cash flow.
It's like trying to bail out a sinking boat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The very first thing you do is you plug the holes. It might be uncomfortable, but it's non-negotiable.
So once the holes are plugged, that gives you the space to look backward, which is step 3, understanding the root cause.
And this isn't just about, feeling better. It's preventative. You have to understand how you got here.
Was it a one-time emergency, a period of unemployment?
It can be. But the source material also highlighted something I found really fascinating. They called it lifestyle pressure.
Lifestyle pressure, what does that mean?
It's that constant sort of grinding need to keep up appearances. You see things on social media, your friends are doing things, and you feel this pressure to match it, even if you can't afford it. The guide even had a term for it. Aspirational instability.
Wow, that's a great phrase. Aspirational instability.
And understanding if that was the cause is the only way to prevent a relapse later on.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture.
Right. Paying down the debt is just treating the symptom. Figuring out why you got into debt, that's treating the disease. If you don't fix the underlying behavior, you'll just end up right back where you started.
Okay, so the diagnosis is done, the leaks are sealed. Now we get to shift into section 2, implementing the aggressive repayment strategy. These are the action steps. And this is where it gets really interesting. We start with step 4, the survival budget.
This is the mobilization phase. It's meant to be intense. The survival budget is temporary, it's short-term, and it is very, very purposeful.
So what does that mean in practice?
It means you focus only on absolute necessities. We're talking shelter, basic food, utilities, and getting to work.
And everything else is gone.
For now, yes. Gym memberships, streaming services, eating out, all of it. Every spare dollar gets redirected and thrown at the debt ledger.
That sounds incredibly difficult. I mean, psychologically draining. How long does that last?
The key is that it must have a clear endpoint. That's why step 1, the clarity step, is so important. You calculate how long this phase will take. And the discomfort itself is part of the strategy. It's a motivator. Every time you say no to something, you're reminded of the goal. It accelerates your freedom.
But even while you're in that aggressive mode, step 5 is about protection, building an emergency buffer.
Yes, this is so critical. It's the defense mechanism. It's what stops you from sliding backward.
So you're not putting every single spare cent toward the debt.
Not at first. The guides insist you create a modest reserve first. Something small.
How small are we talking?
The sources usually suggest a specific target, like $1,000, or maybe 1 full month of your new pared-down survival budget expenses. Just enough.
Just enough to handle a small crisis.
Exactly. A surprise car repair, an unexpected copay, something that would otherwise force you to reach for a credit card and undo your progress. That little buffer provides stability.
Okay, buffer in place. Now we're at the core of the repayment itself. Step 6, choosing a repayment strategy. This is the classic debate, right? The snowball versus the avalanche.
It is, and it's important you understand the trade-off here.
Let's break it down.
So mathematically, the avalanche method is better. No question. You target the debt with the highest interest rate first. This saves you the most money in interest over the long run.
But it might not be the best method for everyone.
Right, because debt repayment isn't just a math problem. It's a behavior problem.
It's psychological.
It's all psychology. And that's where the snowball method comes in. You ignore the interest rates and you attack the smallest balance first.
Why would you do that?
Because you get a quick win. You pay off that first small debt, you feel a rush of accomplishment, and that gives you the momentum to keep going. For many people, that's more valuable than saving a bit on interest.
So what's the final verdict from the sources? Is one better?
The key takeaway was this: consistency matters more than method.
Just pick one and stick with it.
Yes. Executing a good enough plan consistently will always beat sporadically following a perfect plan. Execution is everything.
That simplifies things a lot. Okay, step 7 is one I love because it feels so empowering. Negotiation.
Yes, so many people think the terms on their statements are set in stone. They're not.
You need to pick up the phone.
You absolutely should.
Yeah.
Lenders have a very strong incentive to work with you. A quote from one source said, "Many lenders prefer restructured repayment over default."
So they'd rather get paid something than nothing.
Of course. So you can call them, armed with your new plan, and ask for specific adjustments, like temporary reduction in your interest rate, or for them to waive some past late fees.
And they might actually say yes.
They often do, especially if you can show you're serious and have a structured plan.
Incredible. So that, combined with the budget, leads to step 8, increasing income.
This is the turbocharger.
Right. This is about shortening the timeline.
It's anything from taking on a temporary side hustle, monetizing a skill on the weekends, or even just selling valuable stuff that's collecting dust in your house.
But there was a really strict rule about this extra money, wasn't there?
A very strict condition. Every dollar from this extra work must be applied directly to the debt.
It's not fun money.
It is not a permission slip for lifestyle creep. It is pure fuel to get you out of the survival budget phase faster. But the sources also add a caution. Watch out for burnout, and remember the tax implications of that side income.
All right, we've covered the prep and the aggressive action. Now, section 3, sustaining the momentum and defining true freedom. This is the long game.
This is where you make the habits permanent.
It starts with step 9, which seems simple but is really powerful, tracking progress.
It's crucial because that initial adrenaline you feel when you start,
Yeah.
it will fade.
So you need something to keep you going.
Exactly. Visual aids are huge here. A spreadsheet where you watch the numbers go down, a debt thermometer you color in on the fridge.
Yeah.
These things turn your effort into visible achievement.
That visible achievement refuels your motivation.
It's a feedback loop. You see the progress, which makes you want to stick with the uncomfortable budget, which leads to more progress.
So you track all the way to 0. But then, when you make that final payment, we hit what might be the most important step of all. Step 10. Debt freedom is not the finish line.
Yes. What's fascinating here is how the guides reframe the whole point of this journey. Getting out of consumer debt isn't the end goal. It's just building the foundation so you can start building your real financial life.
So what happens the month after the debt is gone? What do you do with all that extra money?
Three things immediately. First, you take all that money that was going to debt payments and you build a proper emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses.
Not just the $1,000 buffer.
No, a real one. Second, you start aggressively investing for the long term, retirement. And third, you maintain the discipline. You just prove you can live on less. You don't immediately inflate your lifestyle back to where it was.
You've mastered the mechanics. Now it's about the mindset.
Exactly. This is what ensures all that hard work wasn't just temporary damage control. It was a permanent structural change in how you handle money.
So what does this all mean? When you put it all together, it's a journey. It starts with that painful clarity, moves through the intense survival budget, and ends with building a truly stable future.
And it proves that debt, no matter how heavy it feels, is a solvable problem. But it only yields to structure and consistency. You have to trust the system.
Which brings us to the final takeaway, the ultimate lesson. Step 11. True financial freedom isn't really that moment you pay off the last bill.
That's right. True freedom comes from adopting a permanent debt-free mindset. It's rooted in the discipline you build, the awareness you gain about your own triggers, especially that lifestyle pressure we talked about, and the patience it took to see the plan through. It's an identity shift.
You go from being a debtor to being a steward of your own resources.
And as you think about this 11-point plan for yourself, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought. It ties back to that root cause analysis and the survival budget.
If that budget forced you to focus only on absolute necessities, how much of your current comfortable day-to-day spending is actually need versus lifestyle pressure?
And if you could just capture a fraction of that difference, how much faster could you shorten your own journey and unlock that foundation of true freedom?
Something powerful to think about.
Thank you for joining us for the deep dive.
We hope these insights help you transform your financial life. We'll see you next time.
That's it for today's episode of Wealth Hustle 247. Be sure to follow, like, comment, and share with others. Keep pushing toward your goals, and we'll see you in the next episode.